dia pun kata, wah, dia kata. Ya.
Okay. Alright. So can we start?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. Yeah, very nice to see everybody. Hello, everybody. Good evening. So yeah, our self-care Saturday is back after a 1 week break. I think a lot of people have been missing us. So during the pandemic, we have obviously shown ourselves different ways of coping, right? And we can distract ourselves from work, with work, or sleeping, or binging on food, exercise, or we just stay away from the social media because there's so much of news. So many things, it could be also a good time to actually work on self-reflection and how we can battle our challenges and increase our ability to cope well. So to start off this month, we have a theme called Metal to Battle Your Challenges. So we have all these different topics, and we will start this week with Expect the Unexpected. So with us, we have our usual Prof Mohammad, we have Coach Wong, and we have our special guest, Dati Norma. And
Okay, hello. Yeah.
this is a very great collaboration actually between PRKPP, which we are also members of, to really educate about the highlight on mental and physical health, well-being. It's also a collation of a lot of NGOs, so working on education, working on environment, working on so many things. And yeah, Dati Norma is also our president, right? and yeah, so with the Fit Unit, we have collaborated, and yeah, we have been doing this for over a year now, and we shall keep doing it as long as we are willing, we are able to, and yeah, without further ado, I would like to invite Prof Mohammad to start the topic. Hi, Mali.
Hi.
Yeah, thank you so much.
The floor is yours.
All right, thank you, Felicia. Once again, we meet up on a Saturday night to spend our time sharing knowledge, sharing experience. So this month, actually, again, we have to face off with the battle of COVID-19 pandemic issues. It's never spit out as much as we wanted to, even though we could see some light at the end of the tunnel now. But then following even COVID-19 pandemic, which is in a way we are okay with it, but there will be a lot more other battles that we need to face. So I choose this particular topic because I believe this is the time where we need to really look within ourselves, how we can actually overcome the challenges that we have around us. Okay, let me share my slide to start with. Right. Okay, so make it bigger. All right. So this is what the topic is. Basically, metal is a noun and also possibly some verb. We can, in terms of then, to battle the challenges or our challenges that we are going to face. So it is a very important now aspect, how we can always win the battle from within, and subsequently we are fit enough to battle ourselves with other challenges from outside. As you know, it is not easy to battle ourselves to start with, because we have a tendency to actually be very complacent with ourselves, and then we move on doing things that possibly does not really get us to progress and be better. So all this while we have been automatically in automatic mode doing what we have been doing, and then we still notice that we were not able to face on with the challenges that surround us. So that's why I choose the topic, metal to battle our challenges. And so we go for the definition to start with. What is the definition of metal? Basically, it is a person's ability to cope well with difficulties. This is in local word or in layman word, the spirit that we have within us, or the resilience that we should be able to face on or face off with any kind of challenges. So that's what the word metal means. And subsequently, when we talk about other words that we can use for metal, they can be bravery, it can be courage, it can be fortitude, it can be very gallantry, where you are in the army, you talk about gallantry. It can be high spirit, it can be, very heartful person who can face any situation. So that is what this word is all about. And I'm going to use this base for our whole month discussion on what to and how to meet up with our challenges and then able to overcome the challenges that we have. So until unless everyone is facing with adversities, and as you know, adversities is always round the corner, whether we like it or not, we know that no human being will go on living their daily life without any kind of challenges and without any kind of so-called mishaps or with any so-called things, the obstacles and things of that nature. And then adversity is then tampering with our mental, with our courage, with our, so adversity is the one is challenging our mental. And without it, we cannot know any true meaning in our accomplishment. So that means we can accomplish well if we can overcome the challenges. But without any challenges, we don't know how good we are, how much we can accomplish. So that is one actually good reason why we have challenges, we have adverse situation, so that we grow, we become stronger, we become better, and subsequently we end up become mature and become wiser in our daily life. So the topic that I'm choosing for this week is basically this so-called catch phrase. Usually hear about it. Expect the unexpected. What does it mean? We should not supposed to be surprised when any unusual event suddenly happen. The event that we don't expect, the event that we never thought of would happen. So that is where the unexpected suddenly come in front of us. Anything could happen, as you know, and probably it will happen. So in our lifetime, sometime we were on the track. When we were on the track, suddenly, there is a hurdle on the track that we want to take the path that we want to take. There was a hurdle. Then because of that hurdle, we have to learn how to either walk over the hurdle or walk around the hurdle or whatever the way that we need. Then that means the unexpected, we need to know how to overcome it. So as you know, things will happen and things that you don't like actually basically will happen because nothing is smooth sailing all the time. There were times when things was okay, but there will be our wheel that turn and once it is on the up, obviously it will be nice for us. Then when it turns again, it will then come down and that is where possibly we will feel that when we are down, maybe that is the challenge that we're going to face. So this terminology, expect the unexpected, has been the catchphrase, and it's actually a philosophy, whereby with this expect the unexpected, it will lead to the freedom of choice and the freedom of others, people, judgment, creating a future full of possibilities, accepting that what will be will be. So it is very important for each and every one of us to take note that if unless you are ever ready. So there are a few other key words with regard to this philosophy. Expect the unexpected, because if you can do that, that means you're ever ready. You have more choices that you have put in place, and you have the freedom from other judgment. You are not stuck with how people see you because you've got many ways to work around it, and you can create your future possibilities because you already be prepared to expect the unexpected, right? As you know, and this so-called graphic, you thought it was an apple, but inside it turned out to be an orange. And this is what we call the unexpected that could happen in our own everyday life. You know, we expect it is supposed to be what we thought so, but then it turned out to be. To expect the unexpected, it's basically actually indicate our intellect. So that means if we think and we can able to think and we can able to look beyond, we can able to actually sit and ponder and using our thinking cap and using our intellectual ability, that is where you can always actually go with this phrase, expect the unexpected, because you are a person who does not react all the time. You are the person who think about things, who knows how to look forward before even trying to strike the battle that you are supposed to face. So always remember, this is another very important caption. Life is unpredictable. Even though you plan, even though you want it to be, hopefully everything will fall in place. Everything is in the right path. If you have already put yourself in a particular path that you want to follow, unfortunately, there will be a lot of hindrances. Somehow it appears to be clear for the first time you saw it. You know that there's not much of a obstacle to reach, but then suddenly when you are on the path, when you want to go and reach a goal, somehow things does happen. So always be prepared. So the key to expect the unexpected is to be prepared. So a lot of time, I think, especially the younger generation, has not really been prepared. Be prepared for the best and also be prepared for the worst. Currently, I've got a chance to actually counsel an organization, members of the organization, every weekly on a Friday. Then I realized even though each and every one of them who came forward to actually seek counsel, they were basically sort of like, despite knowing what could be the obstacle, what could be the problem that they are going to face and they are facing, but unfortunately they were not properly prepared for that. And because of that, once you are not prepared, so you may actually not have enough tools to get out of the situation. And in fact, you'll be surprised by a number of us at the end of the day become helpless because we don't know how to deal with it. Yeah? Because we are not prepared and we don't know how to. So the other issue, this preparedness actually come from not only just intellectual ability that you can see things, you can see beyond what you are seeing now, you can think further ahead, far ahead, maybe few steps ahead before things happen. You can even predict. So all these actually comes from the self-confidence, right? Because if you are a very confident person, then you know how you are supposed to be living your life. I can tell you again and again, maybe the older generation, their level of confidence is very much different than possibly the other generation, the millennials. And now what we see, even the Y Z generation, and then the Alpha generation, all possibly have some element of lacking in terms of self-esteem, in terms of self-confidence, in terms of knowing they are resilient towards obstacles, towards the challenges and things like that. So I'm not too sure what could be the main reason, but we know that the younger generation nowadays have not been actually put up to challenges even within their lifetime during the childhood or adolescent. So because of that, maybe they were not really aware of how to deal with it, especially when they towards the later adolescent years and during the young adulthood. So because they were overprotected, they were actually not thinking about how things are supposed to be because everything appears to be rosy and be prepared for them. So because of that, they are not actually a person who can develop and become resilient to any kind of stresses and challenges. So always remember, success occurs when the opportunity meets with the preparation. If you want to have success, if you are not prepared, even when the opportunity comes, you may not even take up the opportunity, or you may even did not know that was an opportunity. You may not even see it as an opportunity, especially to the pessimists, they will never see opportunity. But to the opportunists, that would be the chance for them to excel because they see more of the avenue for them to move forward. But the word here that I want to emphasize is basically, are you prepared? And only you are having what we call the philosophy of expect the unexpected. That means you are very well prepared to face on anything that will come by. That's why sometimes in everyday life, a lot of time, people did not prepare even for the day. People did not plan for the day. People never contemplate what has happened before and how they can move forward, become a better person due to the planning and the preparation that they give some thoughts into it for their coming days for them to live. So preparation is another key important word to be in this philosophy of expect the unexpected. So at least think 2 steps ahead of everything and with everyone. So that means we are always a far ahead thinker. Now, not only being prepared, that means every day we use our intellect capacity, we use our thinking ability, we actually then subsequently to assess the risks that we are facing. Right now, people are somehow, I guess, for survival, obviously all of us start to actually push ourselves to be much better because we need to survive. That is good. But then when the stresses has lessened, possibly when COVID pandemic has already, sort of like slowly it's not there anymore as a threat, we may go back to our old self, our old rituals that we do not actually further move to be progress in nature. So that's why I think COVID pandemic has been in a way a very positive reason for each and every one of us to be shaken, to be in a way realize that anything can happen at any time without us being really prepared to face it. So again and again, the issue of trying to be winning the battle with the challenges, it is all depend on what is you within yourself, the way you think, the way you perceive, the way you put your mind, the way you have your values, and the way you learn how to build your traits. So all these are very important, and we are trying to actually help you to develop all these aspects in your everyday life. So most important, as I said, uh, whether you like it or not, parents has the most important role to actually help manage their children. It could be even young parents with young children. It cannot at all. Like today, there was a question when I did a forum. There was a question: why do we really need to have a mental health education in school? Isn't that too much a burden for them? So this question come about. This question arise when they say, "Oh, is it because just COVID and people are talking about mental health, and now they want to add on more burden to students in school to learn mental health?" So the issue is that I tell that basically, whether we like it or not, our life has at least 3 big domains from within us that we need to strengthen, that we need to build up to a very highest potential capacity that we can, so that we can then become fit in our biology, fit in our psychology, fit in our spiritual being, then we can actually face the challenges in our social, environmental that we are with around us. So this is important. So to fit in the psychology, this is one of the components, your thinking ability, your intellectual ability, your intelligences that you must use accordingly. So you always got to have a plan. keep thinking ahead. Don't ever get to be complacent. You see, that is where the problem is when people are already in a comfort zone, they are already being complacent, they never thought to them it was quite a big surprise. How could this happen? We never see it coming. We don't know that it can come this way. When actually, all of us supposed to be a student of history. History always keep repeating themselves. History always keep showing what are things that happened years ago for us to learn. But unfortunately, we were not really given that kind of an attitude to learn from history. So we always have to think ahead and keep looking at what was there. See, you can see in life basically, in this world basically, there are things that comes in cycle. Example like economic recession, it comes in cycle. Example like even these nature disasters, like Malaysia usually have in 20 years or 25 years, there will always be this big flood that comes in Malaysia. And then if you are not prepared, then we've got a surprise. Sometimes we still got a chance to meet up with this disaster, because our life is, at least 70 years of age, our lifespan. So maybe once in a while we can face, as like now COVID-19 pandemic. What happened to COVID-19 pandemic? We never thought of that we are going to have this kind of battle. Previously, like my late father, maybe they will have a chance to go for the experience of possibly during the World War II. We thought we never will have that kind of a situation. Right? So obviously now we realize it is not necessary to be the traditional war, but now there is another new war that we have to face. And in fact, those histories are always there. It always keeps showing, it could always keep repeating. So that's why if you did not really plan yourself, strategize yourself, organize yourself, then you are a complacent person. In a way, you will not be able to win over the challenges and the battle that you're going to face. As I said, unfortunately, the battle from outside is easy to see, but the battle within us, the battle with our desire, the battle with our attitude, the battle with our set mind is all the one that sometimes is much more difficult, much more unnoticed by ourselves. So that is also you need to address accordingly. Okay, so basically it's a short slide presentation with regard to the topic of metal to battle your challenges. And this is where I'm trying to emphasize the key word of what it means to be actually expect, the philosophy of expect and unexpected. So back to Felicia, maybe we can discuss on this particular topic. Then maybe we can take questions.
Right. Thank you so much, Prof. I think that was a good one. I noted down like two important points. One is in you mentioned about something you have to be prepared to expect the unexpected. So and yeah, maybe later on I'll ask you about how to actually prepare for it, because obviously it's the unexpected, and how do we prepare ourselves. And the second point, from how you summarize the thing, is that the battle from the outside is always easier to see, but what's within, the physical wounds are easy to see, but the ones that we probably from our childhood and whatnot, we bring it with us as a baggage, right? So I think that's really interesting, and I think it's during this lockdown or pandemic. I think all these are triggers. It will come back. So it's a really good time to really look into it. And so I'd like to point those two things that you mentioned in your presentation just now.
So basically, I think let us look into within ourselves to start with. That is why the key to knowing who you are and how to be a better you is basically to build up your emotional intelligence. Because emotional intelligence start with self-awareness. Then until unless you know who you are, what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, what are your threats, and possibly what are the opportunities that surround you, then you would never be able to see it very clearly. So that's why every day, if possible, do the SWOT analysis, strength, weakness, opportunity, and threats. Example like today, I may actually did not realize I was behaving with the threat that I have, which subsequently can, in a way, jeopardize my livelihood. Maybe example as simple as this, like for Felicia and Coach Wong, my threat is that my physical being is not as good anymore, but I didn't even care for it. I couldn't be bothered. But at the end of the day, the price to pay is very expensive. You know, the price for me, if I get into trouble, I can tell you for whatever saving I have, it can go in within a flash. You slap of a finger, you got no more money after that. So I didn't realize that part of it. But then I also did not realize that I've got both of you as an opportunity to be a better one, to be a better person. So why don't I take up that opportunity? Why don't I use your, not to say use you in that manner that was used in the wrong way, but at least to get that resources that is available, and then to hold on, to be handheld by you all, and to show me the way how to be improved, to be better. Because that is the weakness that I had. The weakness is that I have a couldn't be bothered attitude.
Mm.
My attitude is very indifference. I am a type B person who is on this extreme, who couldn't be bothered at all. Anything, what will be, will be. The Quesera song, Quesera, what will be, will be. If I have that attitude, then I'm in deep trouble. Now I got these witnesses. I'm a procrastinator. I wait to the end, only then I want to do something about it. I take so big a risk that subsequently, if things really happen, it's very difficult for me to undo it. So within that alone, you'll be surprised. You know your weakness, you know that you have the opportunity which is right in front of you, and you know the threats that you are actually going around every day. Like nowadays, we talk about the threat of uncertainty, the threat of things can be there at once and then it can just simply no more there because you lose everything in a way. So you cannot be complacent and thinking that you can survive only with one thing, and people are talking about you have the opportunity, but why don't you take it up? Or you said, no, come on, I'm already in the comfort zone. Why should I want to, burden myself with all those kind of things? So even with that small, according to some, according to me also, maybe, come on, why are we so serious about it? But I believe if we want to have really peace within ourselves, really, how should I say, feeling good that we are actually ahead and able to face with the situation, that means we are really far ahead, prepared for a lot of things. Not to say that we become so, like in the rat race, trying to get money all the time, and lost the work-life balance, was the personal, relationship issues. It's not that, but at least if you got extra, maybe then you can help other people. So even though we say money is not the most important thing, but at least that is one of the things that possibly could settle you, could make you at least at peace. But then actually there are many other things that can make you at peace. Example, like in our religious teaching, obviously, the way we believe in God, the way we put our iman towards what is happening, faith and things like that. But then even then God was saying you have to usaha, you have to do things, you have to work hard for it. It's not simply just praying to get those things. So we have to understand all this. Only then we can be better. So as you said just now, the issue is that how much have we really built ourselves to that potential that we have? We have got it. We have been given the mind. We have been given the brain. We have been given the intellect. But how much are we using our intellect? How many percent of it are we using? I think that is the issue here.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is that we have been given all the other blessings, people around us, career that we have, financial standing that possibly we have. But then you may just lose everything because we did not take serious you did not even show your gratitude with a blessing, and at the end of the day, thing comes and thing goes even without you noticing it. So then how can you propagate not only for yourself and also for the others around you to assist people that you think you should and can do? I think that could be one. That's why I believe the most important battle is the battle to fight against your desire, to fight against your negativity, to fight against your own wrong attitude and wrong mindset. So that is the key I would like to put forward
Yeah,
before we can.
I like what you said. Thank you so much, Prof. I really like what you say about making a SWOT analysis, and while you have the threats and you identify your opportunity as well, and you mentioned also gratitude. Yeah, so that's really one of the most important things. It really helps us to see a different perspective on how blessed our life is already, right, at this moment. So it's important for us to take that opportunity. I see Datin writing a lot of notes. Maybe you have, you can unmute yourself, Datin. Yeah, you're a very good student.
Well, thank you, Prof. I think it was a good to the tajuk dia, the something that you have to expect the unexpected. It's very good actually. So as long kita we have to be prepared, and then the most important thing that I would like Prof to share with me, because actually my sister, I told you, my cousin sister, she was having this stress and agitated, but as you see lah, the the most important is the our to fight within ourselves, our emotional, and then how you look at life, because she's sleeping now. I hope she didn't hear. She's 66. She's a single lady. I think she worries so much maybe about death, because once you go to that stage, you have the feeling that you are going to die anytime. I mean, this is common, which I read from my psychology old age, but she should be sharing with me a problem, but she keep to herself. She don't want to talk. She don't want to have friends. So yesterday, 2 days back, she has a very severe headache, and this is a real true story lah. It's happening to me now. I'm in the hospital. Then she got very bad gastric. Normally it's accompanied when you are so stressed. So I told her to see the doctor, the gastroscopist, but then she was on the wheelchair. I didn't realize that she was already in a daze, Then when I brought her home, after a few hours, she doesn't even recognize me. And I was so scared, and then she just I went to take her. I call my Dr. Siwa, I call Nomi, because she just lie in the bed, and then still, then we massage her, and then Nomi said it's better to take her to hospital because she lost awareness of things that's happening. So to me, is according to doctor, she may have less sodium, and then very stressful, anxiety, very bad anxiety. So these are things I think what Prof say. I totally agree that we have to be able to fight the battle within ourselves. Most of us does not realize that emotional, all this about your emotion, your feeling is very important about mental. Kita kata fit in our biology, fit in our psychology. All these are very important. But mental, I think we should put the mental lesson in the schools, so we are prepared to see what is inside us, from the young, during childhood. I mean, inilah masa umur 6-7 years, or this still we are old, so we be able to see ourselves. I think it's very important. I've been sitting down and thinking about it. I think you must be prepared for things that you don't expect to happen. You see? So these are very good. I think what Prof have said, and they've jot down all this, and then I'm going to tell my children about preparation for things that are not kita tak expect to happen. And then myself the strength to go through all this, which I think is very good. That's kata my children must be good parents to play their role. I've been trying to play a good role to my children, but I don't know. Maybe I'm quite successful. I'm quite happy as I am now, having loving children and grandchildren. But then I think at this present time, it's a bit different, very much different, how to handle children nowadays. So I think Prof should, beside Felicia, Mr. Wong, thinking about the physical side, I think the emotional part of it is very important for us to develop a well-being person. Spiritual dia, psychological dia, and you must have good mental strength. Macam kita cerita during COVID, if you are not strong, you find it everything is so difficult. Actually, in a way, there's a blessing, as Prof kata kan. During COVID, it teach us so many lessons. And the good positive side, we have time for the family. Normally, if you see people in KL, 5 o'clock in the morning, have been rushing out. Malam pukul 9 pun belum tentu balik rumah lagi. The children are left on their own. So now they are at home. They can see how the children jumping around, the challenges. So most of them say, when is the school going to be open? They cannot handle the children. You see, only 3 orang, 4 orang. So they know now how difficult teachers are handling at school. So I'm just thinking also, buka je sekolah ni, some of the children cannot even hold a pen or pencil. You see, all these things. So there's so much to be done. And then teachers also have to be prepared. Parents have to be prepared. Now I'm talking a big scope, but whatever it is, preparation for the unexpected. I'm seeing my grandchildren. I said, are they able to hold pencil now when they start schools? We don't. Some parents never expect that thing to happen. It's almost a year. They're not holding pen or pencil. Buku pun tak pernah buka iPad je. So it's going to be a hard time. So this is what we call the expecting what are not expected. So in many scope, actually, the tajuk ni very important. And I'm so glad that I was able to attend this session tonight. And then I think we should be maybe have a few more time, maybe ramai yang tak dengar, because there's so many things after COVID ni, kita menghadapi perkara-perkara yang kita tak sangka dah berlaku dan akan berlaku. So Alhamdulillah, I learned a lot tonight, and then itulah dapat saya ni, tapi I wrote a lot lah. I think I'm going to message to my children. They are all in UK now. All five cucu plus my 2 daughters. So nak suruh beritahu dia orang must be self-reliant, mesti kuat, daya ketahanan, pemikiran dan sebagainya. Because it's so different now. After going online, like going back to your still life, facing the lecturers and so on. So that's all I can share lah. Apa ni, Mrs. Felicia? I'm going to dengar lagi daripada Prof. Yeah? Thank you.
Right, thank you so much.
I don't know whether I'm jumbling everything.
It's okay. I think there's a good news for Datin. Actually, we recorded all this session. So it's good to just send the recording so that people can listen for themselves, and then people can actually understand better. Besides you give
Mm.
send the messages and things like that or reminders, tetapi this recording can be actually sent over.
Educate
So
people
that
as well. Yeah.
that would
As
be
a case, I'm in the hospital ni is a real case.
yeah.
So I've been saying this is all emotion yang disimpan,
Yes.
tak
All
nak.
emotions that you
Uh, yes, there
Oh,
is then you are not strong enough to
true.
fight the feeling,
Mm.
the loneliness, the not being able to communicate. Like me, I like talking, I like sharing, I like I mean all these things because I find that many things inside me come out.
Yeah.
So after this, I feel relief. Then I pray spiritual, ni baca Quran. But still, we need to do all this because there are dua hala kan? Betul
Yeah.
tak, Prof?
True.
Kalau baca Quran, tengok TV satu hala saja. You dengar saja. But you're not able to say macam you tak setuju ke, macam you setuju ke, macam now I can rebat balik apa Prof cakap. Agree ke, tak agree ke, that makes you feel good, I feel good now.
True. Okay, thank you, Datin.
Thank you for
I agree with you.
Yeah, we
So
feel
nice. Very good. Good sharing. Very good.
thank you for your sharing. Yeah. Prof, any
Maybe we can invite Puan Wan. Puan Wan has been following us very closely all this while. Puan Wan, would you like to say something? Yeah. Puan Wan actually ada even sekolah kindergarten ya Puan Wan dekat Meru dekat Sri Skandar.
Puan, you have to unmute yourself.
Puan Wan kena unmute dulu. Okay.
Buka sekolah ni.
Yeah. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
Then good evening, everyone. Alhamdulillah.
Good evening.
Thank you, Prof, Felicia, and Coach. Siapa?
Coach Wong.
Coach Wong for organizing this. Alhamdulillah. Walaupun tak ramai kan dalam session ni, tapi mungkin ada orang yang tengok lagi dalam through Felicia punya Facebook. Dan saya nak tanya macam mana kita nak I think it's a very mungkin fine line between preparing for the worst and being worried about the bad things that going to happen. So macam mana kita nak bezakan tu?
Okay. I guess ini yang dikatakan tadi, just being worried is a response when we feel that everything is a threat. That's why we become worried because kita anggap itu sebagai ugutan. Tapi kalau orang yang plan for the future, plan to face any issues, dia tidak anggap benda itu sebagai ugutan. Dia anggap benda itu sebagai challenge positive in a way. Dan dia letak diri dia macam mana dia nak work around the challenges. So I think that is a very different, completely a very different mindset. Just worry for the problem, but not moving ahead to look for the solution. That could be very paralyzing. Then people tak boleh bergerak, people don't know what to do, people become fearful. In fact, itu yang paling risau apabila at the end of the day, kalau dia bermula daripada a young age person, dia jadi rada timid, dia rada inferior, dia jadi negative mindset because it was there that actually the issue is only threat and worries. But then kalau kita dapat menunjukkan jalan ke dia that all these threats, there are always a way to answer these threats. One of the way is the way we see it. It could be a wrong way that we see it and it become a threat to us because our perception was very wrong. Sedangkan it was maybe, yes, it was a threat, but it wasn't a bad threat as what we thought. Bukannya ugutan tu besar sangat pun, tetapi oleh kerana kita tak nampak jalan dan kita tidak dapat bantuan, then we rasakan itu satu threat yang so hebat, then we become paralyzed, and then at the end of the day, it makan ourselves dalam diri kita. So I think itu isu dia yang selama ni yang sebenarnya macam saya selalu ingatkan, the first 7 years of life is a very important 7 years of life. Because the way we program our subconscious mind or the unconscious memories that we have dan sebagainya, that determine who we are. Now after 7 years of life, when we are in school, then we see what kind of a nature, what nature person we are. Nature person yang timid ke, nature person yang good sense of self ke, because the first 7 years of life itu the prime time to start developing, either to become a stable person or the so-called vulnerable person. And once you become vulnerable, obviously after that 7 years of life, cepatlah kita kalah dengan banyak perkara. So nowadays, what happened to issue of people are afraid with the problem is possibly we can help them to reorientate their perception. Ini kata yang sebenarnya all of us ada duty to educate whoever that we have around us, especially our dependent, especially the person that is important to us. We have to be an educator. An educator ada banyak cara. Satu dengan ilmu memberitahu, satu lagi dengan ilmu menunjukkan jalan. So antara ilmu memberitahu dengan ilmu menunjuk jalan, dua-dua kita kena jadi. So at the end of the day kita jadi pencontoh, kita jadi role model. So it's never too late sebenarnya. It's never too late. The only problem is what we worry is that somebody kalau dia dah sampai being so-called that persona yang ada pada dia, takut dia dah give up, takut dia dah helpless, takut dia dah hopeless. And then dia dah give up. Kalau dia dah give up, susah nak buka hati dia. But again, never give up with them. Even though they give up with themselves, we never give up with them. We still get close. We still kadang-kadang get rapat dengan dia as a relationship, walaupun between mom and dad with our kid ke, tak kira lah. Tetapi we show that we are all supportive in nature. So the person tak terasa keseorangan. So I think issue dia ialah basically it's all the way we see. So memanglah it's not actually ada susah nak dimarket benda tu. The only thing is I guess kita janganlah jadi orang yang dwell into the problem without knowing the solution. I think kalau kita dwell into the problem not knowing the solution is because possibly kita cepat mengalah. Kita cepat jadi bukan pemenang tapi jadi orang yang I don't know whether you have this term dalam Malay, kita pengalah, kita kata orang yang mudah kalah jadi pengalah. Mungkin ada that term,
Mudah mengalah.
yang mengalah.
Yeah, maybe Prof, you can give us maybe 1 or 2 questions we can ask ourselves, like what one has asked just now, like how do we differentiate? Is it a problem worth worrying, or is it like how do we prepare for the worst? So let's say we face a challenge. How do we know if the challenge or that problem is real? Is threatened, right? Is a threat. So maybe you can share with us 1 or 2 questions we can ask ourselves during those times.
Basically, that's everything is real. The one that we see as a challenge is real to us. Ini bukan buat-buat, ini bukan mengatakan kita ni, Allah kau ni apalah benda kecil pun jadi problem to you. No, we have to admit, itu namakan emotional validation. We have to admit people do have emotion, people do have a different response to situation, to stimulus. So rather than completely push them aside, making judgment upon them, that might not be, and even the worst thing is that making judgment upon ourselves. We say that aku tak boleh buat ini, I don't know what to do with it. So actually we defeat ourselves. So that's why I usually use this phrase yang selalu tanya, do I make or do I break myself? Because that is a question you need to ask yourself. Do you make or break yourself? You can break if you want to go to this path. You can make if you want to go to this path. In fact, you have both the paths. The only problem is kadang-kadang you don't see the path. Why you don't see? Because there's foggy in front of you. There's a big, things that block it. Maybe in that case, and you can't see for yourself, then maybe other person can see for you. Maybe other person can show you the way to be better. So I think itu isu kita. So always tanya begini, alright, since I know that even in our own religious teaching, memang kita tak akan terlepas lah daripada ujian. right? Even the better we are, likely the bigger the ujian is. You know, in our teaching says that, if you think you are very strong in your iman, you wait until the ujian will be. If the ujian, trying to see where is actually your iman is, that means you have to expect, okay, I will get much more bigger ujian than what I had before. That is what we say, preparedness, expect the unexpected. Jangan ingat, tak payah lagi dah, everything is fine. Itu is what, at times, life is very dynamic. So there will be ups and there will be down, there will be in the middle. But to move forward, the wheel has to turn. So I think right now is completely lah kata tadi. Look at everything in both party, in both angle, the good angle, the bad angle, and then put them into the weighing, the balance, the balance kind of a tray to see which one is more, which one is less, and how then you can put it back in the balance, or you can tilt the balance so that it's much more conducive and positive for you. I think that is how we should see the thing. Tapi kalau kita kata it's all negative, then we become maladaptive. You will never be able to adapt to the situation. Mal means you are not aligned to the situation anymore. But life cannot be that way, because you want to be at peace with yourself. Everything must be properly balanced. Everything must be in harmony. Sometimes the good, a little bit more than the bad, so they're still feeling good. If the good and the bad is about the same, then you have this mixed feeling. If the bad is more than the good, obviously you're going to succumb to the problem. So that's why you know how to then strike that balance, how to always have the good much more than the bad. Or that you know somehow, example like as I said lah, if you have 500 ringgit in your pocket versus you get only 100 ringgit in your pocket, so things can come which possibly only need to lose 80 ringgit, you still feel good about it. It is not really a bad threat for you. But if somehow you need to spend 200 ringgit when you only got 100 ringgit, that's where you feel so stressed. So why don't you build up your assets to make it stronger, to make it bigger? That is how possibly this is. Maybe that I try to answer your question in that manner.
Yeah, thank you so much, Prof. I think, yeah, thank you so much also to point one, to share. I think it's very important that we validate that feelings, because most time we just try to minimize or put it aside.
Downplay it. It's not the best thing.
Downplay. So yeah, that's definitely not a good. Definitely won't benefit us, because it's just moving, distracting us away from the bigger problem, or the
pushing aside for a while, it will come back. That's why if you push under the carpet, you will subsequently see the box. The carpet will still show the box. That means something is down there, which is not nice. Even though you try to hide, you can still see the box later.
right.
So that is not the answer to the problem. The
Yeah.
answer to the problem is address it, like what Datin has been saying. Let it out, ventilate, open the tap, release it out.
Buka.
Why keep it? When you keep it, it's a burden.
Yeah.
When you let it out, it becomes ringan. That kind of a situation.
Right.
So
yeah.
I don't know whether point one is that okay with you? The way I answer it.
Yeah.
Boleh.
Try
Cuma
to
kalau kita, tapi kalau kita dengan orang lain kan, yang sentiasa worry, it's quite hard because I don't have enough skill to
Dia dengan orang lain ni cuma satu je kita boleh buat. Pertama, macam mana nak develop yang dia betul-betul yakin pada kita, yang kita mampu untuk bantu dia. Selagi dia tak ada keyakinan dengan kita boleh jadi sehebatnya orang itu. Macam kami lah, macam saya hebat kononnya, hebat cikgu. Tapi anak murid tak nak dengar kata, nak kata apa? You know? So, kesilapannya bukan silap anak murid, kesilapannya silap saya, tak pandai nak mengambil hati anak murid. Because you're supposed to be the better person should be able to actually win the heart of the person yang possibly need them. So I think kadang-kadang di situ memang yalah, it's a matter of skill, it's a matter. Tapi janganlah kita ragu-ragu pada diri kita sendiri. Never believe that we are no good. Actually we are always good, especially kalau kita tengok background kita semua kan. Macam actually Puan Wan was a university lecturer. So, you just imagine you have that already within you.
You have
The
to
only thing
resilient.
somehow you
Res-
sort of put it aside and forget about it. In fact,
No,
all
I
of us ada ilmu, ada upaya. But
Ah.
why do we minimize ourselves? Itu je.
Diam-diam ubi berisi ya, Puan Wan. We always see you, but you never say anything. Right. We look forward to hear more of your sharing. Yeah, definitely.
Thank you lah. Thank you macam saya cakap tadi. Sebenarnya kita ni semua nak jadi agent of change.
Yeah.
Bila kita nak jadi agent of change, this is one of the way pencambahan minda, perkongsian ilmu. Tanpa ada pencambahan minda, tanpa ada perkongsian ilmu, dan kita semua rasa macam tak setara, tak balance. Jadi ya, semua sama idea, semua sama kefahaman. Jadi senang kita bergerak secara kesatuan.
Perhaps Prof, kalau saya boleh cadangkan, can we have a session like a role play session? Kita buat macam untuk validation, emotional validation. Like kalau ada orang
How to do it?
How to validate. Tapi kita buat
How
macam
to-
role play lah. Role play macam letak satu situation. Sebab kadang kita belajar macam ni, tapi when it comes,
Yeah.
the real problem comes, kita tak tahu nak cakap apa kan.
Create like a real life scenario, then we can we can discuss it together. Like, that is a good idea.
Ini namakan sebenarnya is a coaching session.
Oh.
This is apa yang dipanggil selama ini adalah awareness session. Kemudian kita sepatutnya ada konsep training dan coaching. Training itu hanya menunjukkan how it is done, dan the coaching is more important. Macam Coach Wong and Coach Felicia must be very clear about coaching kan. Kita boleh bagi tahu, kita boleh tunjuk satu kali, tetapi orang itu kena buat banyak kali. Then we start coaching betul. Macam menyanyi lah, kalau menyanyi, mengaji, kena ada coaching, baru tahu oh betul salahnya dan sebagainya, how to improve it. Memanglah dengar kalau orang mengaji itu sedap dah. Kita nak menjadi macam dia, kita tak tahu macam mana. So that's why educating dulu, kemudian training dulu, kemudian continuously coaching. Memanglah boleh dibuat dalam bentuk role play, boleh dibentuk handheld. Tapi perkara ini bukan satu kali, it's not cross sectional. Kalau nak bantu orang tu, nak coach orang tu, mesti a span of time sampai dia jadi confident actually to build themselves on their own. After that handheld tu, then baru kita boleh lepaskan tangan dia. InsyaAllah boleh kalau kita cuba tu kan. Especially tapi benda ni semua kena face to face lah. Kalau virtual ni tak boleh lagi lah. Face to face. So in fact Coach Wong dengan kami, kita ada dekat Greentown, kita ada training ground, training space where we can do the coaching, we can do physical coaching.
Yeah, that would be an ideal place actually.
Yeah, we already have the place.
Yeah,
Already
really.
lah.
This one should be a workshop style of doing it. Yeah, very good, very good comment.
I think we should be able to do it soon.
In fact, a lot of people need that very much. Yeah.
Coach Ron, any words from
Yeah,
you?
I like to say this like Murphy law, like anything that can go wrong will go wrong. So, but then if you are not so-called you're very critical, then you hit you very hard. And when things become emotional, then we become very stupid, because emotional over intellect, high emotional, intellect very small. So that was the situation, the person cannot think one. So forgive them. Okay, continue to give a lifeline to them with relationship until they stabilize the intellect, come back again. Emotionally become small, then they can think straight. Then only we bring it to people like Prof. That's how it is. Okay, so that part one. Then the other part is that when Datin Bonda talk about the preschool so-called mental strength. You see, I see in UK they already start teaching meditation in kindergarten schools already. So I think that is very important, because you're talking about psychological imprinting. With the first 7 years of age, actually we lost most of them. When you go to school, it's already game over already. Then as a teacher to do magical things. Then when we leave it alone, and then when we become older, we become very stupid. emotionally, inverted commas. So you see, these are not the fault of us, but because we actually missed the boat of putting the psychological imprinting from the birth canal out. You're already inferiority complex already. Really. That's why the advertiser use the inferiority complex to brand you. Then you must buy a branded thing only you become good.
Feeling good from outside.
Yeah, so they are using that psychological aspect to actually win over to buy the product or use their thing, you see. So I think back to the school one, I think I'm very interested in this one. So now Prof, we can actually design a program for parents. For parents with children, you know, even though young couple not even having
Parent to be also.
Parent to be also. These are target audience we have to work in. I put it in a very simple way and talk more in psychology imprinting. Why is so important? Because we cannot help you because your God created physically, your brain is big, you know, your subconscious is small. But it's not that way. When you use it, the subconscious must be big, the conscious mind is small. See? So, but unfortunately, we are built in that way. So we don't see the iceberg, you know. We see the top. So that's why the psychological so-called lessons must come in. Because even though, you see, that's why I see that in spirituality or so-called faith development, okay, we are so worried about our children, a lack of faith. You know, they're so worried about they are not spiritually sound. You know, when they grow up, they won't follow the religion or they don't follow. Actually, that is very false, actually. But I think if, let's say, you bring them to the proper so-called development of their mind, of understanding the self, esteem, automatically those will fall in place from. I look back for my years, you know. So I'm one of the victims, you know, of a default so-called parenting. You know, I won't say it's wrong, but you see, if the parents know, they also won't do that. So now with new psychological science proven, neuroscience proven, so we need to really, don't wait until the school to change them. We as private or we as our NGO, we come up with a course. That's why I say, Bondadati, you think about, you see, PRKPP is good, but we cannot be running course all free because we are social business. There's certain costs must pay, but we will make it very simple, very cheap, affordable for everybody. Okay, then we create that fund. That fund also will be reinvest into the social business development. That means we want to develop, continue to empower the so-called organization, so that then the continuity will come in because those resource people we must pay them the time cost for sure. Okay, but we don't go and ask for handheld. We don't want, you know, handheld is no good because 70% in any social business entity, 70% must be self-generating. You only can ask for 30% donation only. Even though we are social business status, we can ask corporate to sponsor us. They can do the tax exemption. Okay, but that is also not good enough. We don't want we have to generate the 70%. Okay, and then when we are so valuable, they want to come and see us. They want to come and be part of us. Hey, please, I want to be part of your sponsor in this program, in that program. So actually, this called social, the CSR thing coming in. Okay, so I think back to the basic just now. What Bonda taken out, what Ponman taken out is about. You are in preschool, or Ponman will be the best person to know this, to see this. No. The kids are, wow, you know, if let's say the teacher at that particular school, they do not know how to handle the children, no, then the problem, you know, then the parent also don't know, you know, the parent pass to the kindergarten also don't know the real thing, how to handle it. So this is a very, very so-called ignorant challenge. So I think, Prof, use expertise, Prof. I will support you, you know, to really spearhead certain things like that. I think this is very not about business. This is about getting the right education at the right timing, so that we can get the best out of the human race. Build more good people. Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, Prof.
I think Fit Unit and PRKPP, we are already frontline. The only thing is we have to improve again, besides just the education, I think in terms of the development of the student, it's easy to teach content of subject matter, but it is not easy to teach the soft skill, the attitude,
Yeah.
the personal development. I think this is where people stay away from this thing. Even you'll be surprised, people are not focusing
Ya,
much
pesakit
on
ni
how
bagi
to
kat
improve.
situ. Ya.
So I think we need to sit down again. Since like the RKPP is expanding wider, widening the scope actually of dealing not only just with school kids now with the teachers too. Basically, I think we need to catch on the key group of people who can make the difference. Then the effort will be very meaningful.
Yes, Tati, yeah, you can mute yourself.
Yeah, can I say a few words?
Yeah,
Yes,
sure.
really.
I think what Coach Wong has said and Prof just now said that I think we have to try to concentrate on the kindergarten teachers. To interfere with the government, I'm not well. I'm not sure how I can do it. But through our NGO, maybe when kita dah boleh face to face, we organize this some of our kindergarten teachers. Maybe Prof can give a talk. We have session like that. But we try on. With these teachers first. Is that alright?
Yeah.
I will try to get a group of them, and then maybe the word spread down. Then I will see the education department whether dia boleh bagi surat arahan minta cikgu-cikgu ni, sebab kita boleh kata this is something new after COVID. So this is the yang kita kata we expect the unexpected, because after this when the school reopen, we can see a lot of problem arises. I'm sure like Puan Wan pun dia rasa risau macam tu lah. Sebab tengok cikgu macam mana nak handle budak-budak semua kelang kabut, dah lama tinggalkan sekolah. So the teachers must be prepared first, because they are the one who are going to handle these young children. The parents, we can also do on, we can later on regroup them. From that tadika or those two teachers, minta parents to buat. This is our duty lah, as apa kata, contribution to the society. Maybe macam Coach Wong kata perlu duit lah apa semua tu, we can work out with them. But first, I will try to invite the teachers. I just say to them that sekarang ni after the COVID, there be a different scenario in school. So I'm sure cikgu rasa problem, parents pun problem, budak-budak pun problem. But problem need to be solved. We don't simply say, oh, just let it go, you see.
Yep.
So maybe we can help if Prof around are willing to do it. I will try lah nak facilitate macam mana, carikan the teachers. Saya akan cuba dan kita mulakan. Dan kemudian kita boleh minta dia orang bayar. But first, kita cari, kalau you all are ready to help, then I will try to get the teachers. Even through my area, near Tambun, or these are few at Tadika, which I can approach teachers. I'm sure some of them are willing to participate because they also having problem. I heard some of them say, how I'm going to face the student now. There have so many months I've been away from school. All this, sebab saya selalu berjumpa dengan cikgu-cikgu juga, mereka dah melahirkan perasaan rasa macam there be problem, you see. Then they pun tak expect what they expected, as we see. So maybe dengan cara kita buat bersama, Prof cakap macam bagi dia pun rasa yakin diri and can face the challenges. Because this is more on emotional actually. Semua orang kata stress. Semua orang kata. Yes, it's all about, it's all in your mind actually. Kalau kita nak tengok benda tu stress, everything is stress. Betul tak? Makan pun nak stress, nak suap dalam mulut. susahnya nak makan ikan macam ni. She's so stressed. But if you think, oh, it's okay, at least I have food, and we be thankful, you see. But many people look at susahnya, belum apa-apa cakap susahnya, not prepared. As Prof, banyak yang saya belajar. Sebab sebenarnya saya selalu prepare diri saya lah sikit-sikit. Sebelum saya tu, apa saya nak buat, saya exercise, betul tak Mr. Wang?
Yeah,
Saya
very good.
makan, saya menulis, saya belajar, saya takut lupa. Tadi saya jumpa Dr. Fadi, saya tanya, apa ubat untuk jangan lupa. Dia kata, no, you are so active, all this. I said, please lah, bagi saya prepare. Dia kata, ambil Notrofil. I'm sharing. I'm always thinking, if I live another 2 years, I want to be still active. Tak maulah takut, tak ingat orang, tak ingat anak, you know. This it looks simple, but it happened. You see, it happened to me now. I don't expect. I was so scared. What happened? If how am I going to look after her if she can't remember anything? See, so it just came as a shock, but it happened unexpected, as you say. So things are like this. Sharing is good. I mean, this is a real experience, kan? So the teachers are all sekarang ni, semua saya jumpa cikgu muda-muda, stress. Apa, belum lagi berjumpa budak-budak, mereka dah kata mereka stress. So macam mana? At least kalau mereka tahu stress, then they will start preparing, you know. Or today maybe budak-budak tadika ni pegang pensel pun tak tahu. So what shall we do now? So go back for the first stage. You don't think, oh susahnya sekarang mereka tak boleh pegang pensel. Mulalah balik dengan pegang pensel, betul tak? The mind, the set of, macam Prof kata, kita prepare. We prepare for this type of thing. But most of them tak. They won't complain, oh susahnya. Nah, masuk darjah 6, oh cikgu kata, I'm handling banyak cikgu Oh macam manalah ni, budak-budak mulim dah tak erti. Alah, belum tahu lagi. See? The school is not open yet.
Right.
So,
Itu pun overthinking dah tu.
Yeah.
Overthinking
Thinking out of
the
nothing.
worst.
Overthinking out of nothing.
Yeah.
Ini yang this is very common among the Malays. I found that the Chinese sekolah Cina, because during the COVID pun mengajar tak ada keluhan pun. Saya tak dengar lah. Ada je berjumpa kawan cikgu Cina, international school. Was quite happy. The teacher said, oh Alia, where are you? I'm talking about my cucu. Alia, show your face please. Oh, and then tak boleh lah nak lari kan. The ways to make it happen.
The relationship is very well.
Relationship, the caring, never give up.
Yeah, and we bring,
Yeah, my granddaughter very clever one. Dia tutup screen. Tu cikgunya keep calling. Like I'm sharing that in Sri, she went to UK just because of his son. When he's here online, dia main game je. Dia main football. Cikgunya menjerit-jerit. Where are you, Emily? Where are you, Emily? Dia enjoy je. So dia kata, oh, this cannot. Must send her back. So this is how parents, I should say, play their important roles, kan? Ini sharing lah ni. Some parents just give up. Tadi I met 2 parents that came to my young parents, anak 9 tahun. Dia kata, saya tak boleh, I cannot manage. Saya tak boleh nak bagi anak saya buat main komputer. Saya bagi dia basikal baru. So I told him, he's a boy. Get another friend to come and sit together. I mean, try lah. Because I've tried my Perkasa punya program dekat kampung. You know, I'm sharing that for Mama. I'm doing this. That's why saya pun dapatlah iktiraf jadi pemimpin, tokoh pemimpin. But I remember budak-budak ni, kalau seorang dia tak boleh buat kerja, siapa nak tolong? But then, when hilang.
Okay.
Tapi kan saya panggil 5 orang. So they sit together, they do their homework, and then they ponteng. Sekolah kat kampus, usaha kata bagus. Datang program budak tak ponteng. Bukan dia orang tak ponteng. Dia dah siap homework. Kita masa sekolah kecil-kecil dulu, saya pun tak siap homework pun, saya cakap kat nenek saya sakit perut. Saya tak pergi sekolah. Sebab cikgu marah.
Takut.
Yeah. You also Felicia, sama saja. Mr. Wang pun ingat tak masa sekolah? Kita tak siap work. Demam lah, sakit kepala lah, sakit gigi lah.
Yeah, mind games. We call this mind games. Yeah.
That's where our next session next week, maybe Prof, you can help us to summarize, art of engagement. Kan? Kita punya week 2 topic. So maybe you can share more about what are you going to talk about for the art of engagement.
Itulah sebabnya art of engagement ni maknanya kalau kita yang berupaya, kita yang lebih mampu, kita sepatutnya lah memulakan engagement.
Kita buat.
Buat. So macam contohnya macam Datin cakap tadi tentang sekolah pun, sebenarnya saya rasa semua guru masih lagi agak takut nak address psikologi. They were rather dia rasa macam dia tak fully equipped tentang psikologi. So I think yang itu sebenarnya bagus kita revisit the psychology knowledge and the psychology competency or literacy tentang psikologi so that they may use it to apply. So dalam hal ini kita akan gunakan konsep art of engagement. Bagaimana kita kat sini unit PRKPP now engaging menggunakan kesenian tadi, engaging with the parent dan the teachers with regard to actually literate tentang psychology and knowing competent how to apply psychology. I think itu jadi jawapan.
Because Prof, macam Mr. Wang kata, dia pun victim of the work masa dulu. First, I just say, first 7 years, my cucu tinggal 2 je lagi yang dalam that kind of apa. Because the rest kita semua tak ada knowledge. Saya pun nasib lah baik, tak tahu macam mana boleh berani. Kalau dulu, saya pun takut semua. Because during our time, semua tak boleh tanya, tak boleh ini, tak boleh itu kan. Psikologi tak ada. Jadi nak bagi confident tu korang. Keyakinan diri. Macam mana nak menjadi kalau kita tak pernah yakin, nak keluarkan pendapat pun rasa takut. I am at 70, 60 something baru berani bercakap banyak. Datuk pun kata, wow, what happened to my wife?
Itu yang dikatakan oleh siapa? The author, the sleeping giant. Suddenly the sleeping giant woke up.
The spiritual awakening.
The awakening of a sleeping giant. Suddenly dia bangun. Oh, nampak. Wah, giant betul.
Potential.
No lah. I mean, we are only, this is because kita tak
very
ada
true,
ilmu
very
psikologi.
I think isu kita memang mungkin I think isu dia kat situ lah. Isu dia ialah we are very familiar with content-based academic learning, tetapi we are very weak in terms of the psychology, affect learning, perasaan.
Ini kan Prof, kalau kita boleh cakap sebab kita tak pernah kena COVID. So now changing. So everybody is facing a lot of problem. Nak meniaga, semua takut tapi mesti keluar kodak, tak ada duit. Semua benda ni. COVID is still there. But we have to keep on we are living in COVID kan. We never know when it's ending. So kita kena buat psikologi. Kita kena buat talk macam ni. Walaupun orang tak dengar, maybe Facebook dia orang dengar. Supaya dia orang membina kekuatan dalaman untuk menghadapi situasi sekarang. Sekolah dengan cara sekolah dia, kerja di pejabat dengan cara kerja pejabat dia. Supaya and as a parent taklah pukul anak je, taklah nak bunuh diri. Because there are other ways. You don't die. Simply die. Rezeki kalau ikut Allah pun dibagi pada semua orang. Tapi you want to end up your life, that is your choice. Betul tak? Jadi dia kena ada kekuatan dalaman. This is all psychology lah, emotional, all these things kan. Saya nampak sangat banyak kekurangan. Cucu saya pun saya kena inspired. Dia kata, 1 year dah duduk kat sini, tak beli apa, tak beli. I said, so many people. So all your friends are the same. Why you all worry? Baliklah. Sama je. Everybody start again. Ini miss lah. Everybody miss something because semua satu dunia kena COVID. So I have to instigate the Haris semua. Because she pay one paper, because father pass away kan. Kita pun excuse lah juga, kesian kat dia. But then I said, at my age I'm still studying, why you all want to worry? You all nak duduk goyang kaki kat rumah. Okay, fair. 1 year. Boring tak? Boring. Baiklah belajar. I mean, this apa kan feeling tu. This is
Amazing to have a grandmother like Datin. Yeah, definitely.
tak
So,
apalah.
more to come. Yeah, we hope to do it one at a time. Set up
Yeah.
some teachers, some kindergarten teachers, and then we approach the parents.
We do that lah.
Yeah, we
Saya
Yeah.
pun dah pandai Zoom ni. Malam nanti I will follow. Every Saturday.
So we have every Saturday, and so thank you so much, Datin, for sharing. Thank you, Puan Wan. Thank you so much, Prof, for I think just opening this out. Sometimes it has to come to this point where now that we are going into the new norm, it's very important to prepare for the for the unexpected. Right, so I think we started the week with this topic with strong emotions, and everybody was so lovely to share their vulnerable emotions. So we want to make sure that we keep on continuing doing what we are doing, and also to Datin's cousin, we hope semoga memudahkan segala urusan, well, and
Thank you.
and everybody stay safe. We will be back. Don't worry, this will be also available on Facebook and also on YouTube. I will send you the link later on. We have our next coming session, which is the art of engagement, and we have so many more topics to use this as October month to better our inner challenges, so to equip ourselves better to face the new norm. So thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you.
Have a good weekend. So we will see you in the WhatsApp group chat. All right.
Okay.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you, Datin. Thank you, Felicia. Thank you, Wan.
Okay, good night.
Miss you, Felicia. Bila nak balik po?
Nanti dah buka, baliklah. Right, I'll come and see you.
Okay, see you.
Bye.
Okay.
We go to Kandu. Saya belanja makan. Dah buka dah.
Okay.
Inshallah.
All right.
Inshallah.
I was there this morning. I was there.
Oh, are you
Okay.
clearing
Reviving the kebun pintar.
thank you.
Okay.
We see everybody at Kandu. All right. Thank you so much.
Nah, dah buka SOP, semua orang boleh keluar.
Okay.
Alright.
Okay.
Okay.
Good night.
Bye. Good night.
Okay.
Good night, everybody. Stay safe. Thank you.